Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Good Taste for the Soul. I'm Angie Patton. We're in for a fun time today. We're going to be talking to America's favorite deli man, Ziggy Gruber, the famous Ziggy from Kenny and Ziggy's in Houston. He's hosting a fantastic fundraiser coming up June 21st and 22nd that benefits the Borscht Belt Museum in the Catskills. If you're not familiar with the Catskills, some of your favorite comedians come from that region. That's where they kind of cut their teeth in front of live audiences. Jerry Seinfeld, Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers. This place has a rich history, and it's going to be an incredible event. I plan on being there. Get ready. Here comes Ziggy. Hey there, Ziggy Gruber, everyone's favorite deli man, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. How are you?
I am doing fantastic today. We're having a wonderful day.
Good, good. You have a wonderful event coming up that we're going to talk about in a minute that involves a very famous place, the origins of comedy, so much of America's artwork, popular entertainers, so many things. The Catskills, I'll give away a little clue there, but I want to remind everyone who you are and about your incredible resume, if you will, really life story in the world of delis, right?
Right. Yes. Yes. Thank you. And we are looking forward to this event, the Borscht Belt event. It's going to be a fantastic event. It's going to be a great documentary, and we are going to feed everybody up like they were at the Borscht Belt,
which they used to eat rather grandly.
Oh my God, yes, they did. Everything there was on the American plan. So that means you could eat as much as you want. You could eat the whole gamut of the menu, whatever they served you, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And they never said no to you.
And incredible
So
food,
you,
and much like the amazing food at Kenny and Ziggy's Deli, right, in Houston.
well, it's the same type of food, yes. So yes, larger than life portions and tastier than tasty food.
No, it's going to be great. Ziggy, tell everyone a little bit about your family history, because I can think of no one that better embodies the world of delis than you.
Well, my family, I was born into a dynasty.
Yeah.
My family had the first delicatessen on Broadway called the Rialto Delicatessen Restaurant. That was right next to the Brill Building in the heart of Broadway. We had burgers on 47th Street. We had Gitlets uptown. We had Wally's downtown. We had Crest Hill Kosher Deli in Spring Valley, New York for 50 years. And we had the Woodrow Kosher Delicatessen restaurant in Hewlett for about 50 years. So my whole family has been very, very active. I had stores in Los Angeles too. I had Ziggy G's Delicatessen restaurant, and now I've been here in Houston for 26 years on Post Oak Boulevard.
Yes. And it's not an understatement. And I think there are so many people that would agree that this is really, I think, probably the best deli in the country. Delis in general are going away, and you have built just an incredible monument, truly noteworthy for delis.
Well, thank you for saying that. We try our best every day to be the best that we can be, and we do make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
And we are grateful that we are one of the few remaining delicatessens left that are truly authentic in the United States.
Yeah, authentic. And speaking of lots of food, don't go to Ziggy's unless you're hungry, because you will be fed, and you will be fed well, and everything's ginormous, right?
Absolutely. We have Gazinta portions, so you are going to be able to eat like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is. Well, let's get into the event coming up. So it's celebrating the Borscht Belt Museum, right?
Correct. We are doing a sponsored event for the Borscht Belt Museum. It is a fantastic documentary on the Borscht Belt, and it's truly amazing what this documentarian person has done. They have taken basically people's photographs and stuff, and however he pieced it together, it is truly amazing and a worthwhile thing to see. And to basically, supplement that and complement it, we are giving a buffet of all kinds of the Borscht Belt type favorite foods to eat. So you are going to not go hungry. You're going to have borscht shooters, and you're going to have, matzo ball soup and delicatessen and all kinds of egg creams and desserts and blintzes, all you name it. We're going to have the whole thing.
Well, I can't wait. I think I told you, Mike and I are coming Sunday night. We're looking forward to it on the 22nd. You
Well,
talk.
you're going to love it. You're going to love it, and you're going to really, really get. It's really a shame that this place does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
It truly is a loss, if you want, because it was a wonderful place. When I grew up, I was on the cusp of when it was declining, and the fun that we would have with all the activities and the food and the people and watching the shows and the entertainment was just tremendous.
Well, it really has the distinction of being the birthplace of American comedy. I've read numerous accounts and that give it credit for that. Um, People like Jerry Seinfeld, Joan Rivers, Rodney Dangerfield, all came up through the
Oh yeah.
Catskills, right?
Oh yeah, Buddy Hackett. I mean, Sid Caesar. Barbara Streisand would sing. I mean, everybody got their start at the Borscht Belt, and it truly all those entertainers like back then. Today we really don't have entertainers. We've got movie stars or whatever. But back then you had entertainers, and this is where the entertainers would cut their teeth. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
live
learn their
audience.
craft and learn how to really please an audience. And believe me, these were tough audiences. If they didn't like you, you either had to learn how to make them like you, or you ended up out of show business.
Well, and for
So,
people who haven't, I have never been to the Catskills. I knew it was somewhere in New York, but I've never been. But I am even more fascinated reading up a little bit once I saw your event coming up. It must have been a special place in time. It was kind of like the heydays. You think of the 50s and 60s, glitzy, glamour entertainment, and very much a family oriented
yes,
destination.
everything you described, that's exactly what it was. I mean, all the families would come up there. It's kind of like if anyone's seen the movie Dirty Dancing,
Yeah.
that was based in the Catskills and those hotels. If anyone's watched Miss Maisel,
Yes.
they've seen what the Catskills are like. And yes, it was very family oriented. It was very it was, the reason why it was so successful was because, remember, back then you had immigrants, and New York City got very hot in the summertime, and they wanted to cool off. So they went up to the mountains where it was cooler back then, and it was reasonable to go there. And that's what the whole family did to cool off in the summer and to get out of the heat. And a lot of times the men would come, take their families up there, and then they would come back and work during the week, but leave the families up in the
Ah.
Catskills for the whole week long. They would go for the whole season, for the whole summer. When that started to decline, that's when airlines became cheaper and people could go away to places like the Caribbean or Europe or other places, or cruise ships got much more reasonable too as well. And that really hurt the Borscht Belt and took a lot of those people away from that.
So
That
as things progressed technology wise, it started taking its toll.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, though the photos from the museum that they have posted right now are pretty fun to look at. I mean, it is definitely an era gone by. It reminds me of the Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin kind of timepiece, right?
Right, 100%, 100%. It was a special place and a special time.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, it would be lovely if we had that time back.
I know.
But at least now people could come and they could see it on this documentary and see what it was all about and experience it for one night, what the food and the atmosphere was like.
Well, for one, I cannot wait. And I talked to one of the organizers of the event, getting ready for your interview, and I'm even more pumped up about it than I was before, and that's saying a lot. The other component in this is I know the things you do, and you do things very well. And if anyone has not been to Kenny and Ziggy's, you feel like you're in a New York deli. It is so authentic. You've got the beautiful playbills and movie posters, the floor, the deli, the everything. It's just so well done, and on such a big scale too.
Well, you gotta remember, all of the memorabilia that you see is followed me around in all my restaurants in New York, Los Angeles, and here.
Yeah.
So it's not like we purposely did that. This is actual, history of my family that's on the walls. So all these people that you see on the walls were my customers. All of the playbills that are signed are people they've all eaten here or have eaten at other places of mine.
Wow.
And so you can really get a glimpse of what the history of my family is through walking through the halls here.
Wow, Ziggy, I'm glad to know that. I've looked at the playbills, I've looked at the photos, and while some I knew were people you were in them maybe, and it was clearly someone you knew, I had no idea this was kind of a compilation and collection of things from your life and all the other delis you had. That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
no, it is. Absolutely. And let me tell you, I've got storage for another two stores just as big.
Do you really?
I do.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're talking about a museum in the Borscht Belt. I think we may need one in Houston. Kenny
Yeah,
and Ziggy's. We're serious.
Kenny and Ziggy. Well, listen, we have the Kenny and Ziggy's Museum. You can come here 7 days a week. We're open from 8 a.m. to 9, and we don't charge you an admission charge. And if you sit down, you get free pickles.
Right? That's true. That's a good way to celebrate. That is true. But
Yeah,
I look forward
absolutely.
to coming to the event now is for the event for sure, but to take a second look at some of the memorabilia, and I may pull you aside at some point and say, okay, take me through your life. I want to see
Sure.
what it is about all of this, because the deli, for people who haven't been, is quite large, and the counter space are in a couple of areas, in the corner and whatnot. But then the walls and the booths are quite visual.
Yes.
It's
Well,
something.
they are. I mean, that's the whole thing. I remember when I first came down here, and my business partner Lenny said, well, "Do you have anything to put on the walls?" I said, "I do." And then I came in, and they all looked at me, and they're like, "Oh my God, how are we going to get all of this on the walls?" I said, "I have the stuff, but we're going to need to hire somebody." So we hired someone that works for the Fine Arts Museum and the Menil Gallery to help us put up, that's Thai art, and they put up all of the playbills and everything for us because it's laid out very well,
Yes, it is.
and I cannot take the credit of laying it out. All I did was bring the stuff, lay it all out on tables, and say, "Do what you want with it,"
Well,
and they did.
they did, and they did an incredible job. And I should mention, because I love the name of the room you're in, you have a special events room there, and you call it what?
The schmooze room.
I love that. I love that. Well, I love everything about you. You know that. I just think you're a personality larger than life. You're such a lovely person, and you're going to have a wonderful event for people who are not familiar. They can go online, right? And
Yes.
get information and buy tickets, right? We'll put a link up.
Absolutely. They can buy tickets through the Borscht Belt Museum, and we look forward to having everyone that wants to attend this great event. And I look forward to seeing you there, and we will watch it together and have a great time.
Oh, I have no doubt. For people who love delis and hate to see them fade away, the movie you were in, which was done a few years back, The Deli Man, is so worth watching. It'll get you fired up about anything to do with delis. That was fun.
Right. It was. It was wonderful and it was good. And it's definitely a film that will make you hungry.
It absolutely will. And I think it gives everyone a wonderful appreciation of our delis and this beautiful Jewish history and the immigrants that came to this country. And it'll get you more fired up to come to the Borscht Belt benefit at Kinney and Ziggy's on January 21st and 22nd, a Saturday and a Sunday night.
Well, we wish everyone to come and we're going to you'd wish you with open arms. We're going to greet you.
Well, I can't wait, Ziggy. Great to see you again. Thank you.
Great to see you. Thanks, Tangi.
Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV.